Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David, and that's Elle. She is going to sleep while I throw tarot cards. Here, like good down there. For all you cat lovers out there, I'll just back up a little bit. Okay, so I record this. It's March 4th at 6:53, so we're almost an hour into Trump's address to Congress, which I am purposely not watching because I'm just going to get triggered. Trump has been on fire on Truth Social. I just did a reading on his external tariffs on U.S. farmers. Have fun. Dear God. Tariffs, if you try to sell your product outside the United States, the government's going to charge you a fee so you can sell it outside the U.S. That's going to be his way to keep food inside the U.S. for all the food that's not coming in from Mexico and other places. Okay. Now, another truth, if you will. All federal funding will stop for any college, school, or university that allows illegal protests. Agitators will be imprisoned or permanently sent back to the country from which they came. American students will be permanently expelled or, depending on the crime, arrested. No masks! Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, at first I took no mask to mean like no COVID, but I think he means no hiding your face so that you can't be identified type of thing. You know, nothing like trampling on people's First Amendment rights. You know, for the party that supports him and claims to love the Constitution that they've never read, it seems like they only think of the Constitution as being the Second Amendment. And, you know, the First Amendment, they don't quite understand. They think the First Amendment should mean that you should be able to say anything without any consequences whatsoever from the government. The government is not allowed to retaliate. If you go out there and you shout out a bunch of racial slurs, I'm not advocating for violence. Let's say violence doesn't happen, but if people report that to your job and your employer says, ew, that's going to cost us a bunch of sales. We don't want to be associated with a racist person. You'll lose your job. That's your First Amendment right allowed you to go out and say all the racist stuff, but you're not free from the consequences. It's just that the government can't retaliate against you. Except in the case of this Truth Social thing where the universities will have their money taken away from them if they allow illegal protests. I wonder what an illegal protest is. This just sounds like Trump trying to get ahead of what he knows will be student protests coming out against his policies. And if it happens in red states or something like that, he'll have the governors or somebody declare it an illegal protest, and then he's going to want to send in the National Guard to knock heads and expel people, basically using fear and intimidation tactics to try and prevent people from using their First Amendment rights. How very North Korean of him. Come on down. Let's look at the energy around this edict from Herr Führer. Entertainment purposes only. Foundation of the reading is the Six of Coins. It's going to be, you know, you do what I tell you to, or I'm not going to give you any money. I'll throttle the money that the government's currently giving to you. And as the government's spending less and less and you get economic hardships, it's going to be harder for the universities to keep things funded, especially the ones relying on federal funding. So this is a threat to remove funding so that you're grateful for the pennies that you do get. Cross with the Knight of Wands. This is, you know, do what I tell you to or else type of card. Normally this is about planning, thoughtful planning and cautiousness. Now, this is the Ace of Wands on a horse. Do what I say or I'm going to hit you on the head with the Fred Flintstone card. Underneath it is the Nine of Swords, the anxiety. This is going to cause anxiety for the universities because, you know, Trump's not going to define what an illegal protest is. He will define it on the spot, but there won't be any definition with which to fight it. Now, also, this could be the student protesters. Like, the minute you tell somebody they can't do something, they're going to want to do it. And now especially with young people. So now the administrators are in between a rock and a hard place here. In the past, you got the hermit. These are people. This Trump is just showing us who he is. We've known about this for a while. And here's the thing about protests. It shines a light on an issue that's not being covered otherwise. Usually through legacy media and things along those lines. But it shines a light and lets people know about a certain cause or situation. Current situation is the moon card. By trying to squelch people's First Amendment rights, instead of shining a light on things, you're trying to keep things hidden so that people don't discover what you're up to. Overarching energy is the Empress. You scratch my back. It's kind of a quid pro quo card in this one. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Keep those bratty kids under control, or else, they're not going to get the money. They're going to get kicked out. They're going to be sent home. All these bad things will happen. Lesson to be learned is the Two of Wands. If the universities capitulate on this, expect more edicts to come. So outcome is Seven of Coins. The universities, they have decisions to make. These are institutes of higher learning. You teach people critical thinking skills. What would they do if they don't have the federal funds? How do we get through this? How do you explain to your students that they should agree in advance to give up their First Amendment rights to protest? All right, so this is just a Truth Social post. It's not an executive order. It's not a bill that's gone through Congress. I don't think Trump can actually do that. Because Congress holds the purse strings. They are the ones who set the budget. This is where my weakness is right now. I don't know enough about the federal government to tell you that Trump can't do this because Congress appropriates funds and sets them, and then there's going to be, it goes to universities. It probably goes through another agency that dispenses the money. Maybe that's where Trump can hold it up, is through a cabinet member who oversees whatever agency would supply funding to those colleges, schools, and universities. Will this be challenged in courts? Because I can't imagine it's constitutional. This is why I don't think this can happen, is that you'd have to justify it another way, because you have protected classes, like you can't fire somebody or treat somebody badly or do something like that based on their religion, their race, their ethnicity, which is race, gender, sexual orientation, etc. And I don't think you can punish a college for their students exercising their First Amendment rights. Will this be challenged in court? For Carter. Wheel of Fortune. It may never get there. It just this might be just red meat for the base. We've got 3 of Coins, 8 of Coins, 5 of Coins, 2 of Wands. I think what you will probably have is civil liberty unions are already working on raising money and putting together a strategy here. Now, the other thing is that Trump could throw this out there and cause, again, the American Civil Liberties Union to spend time, money, and effort preparing for something that may never happen. And it might be just trying to run them out of money and resources. Right? You keep doing that. You keep making them prepare for something that doesn't happen. So they've spent time, energy, and resources on that. And if you can dwindle them down to the point where they don't have much time, much energy, or resources, then you can do the really lousy stuff that you really want to do, and they don't have the defenses to put up with it. The analogy in the Ukraine war would be flying a bunch of decoy drones over Russian territory and having their missile defenses and their air defenses shooting down all these decoy drones until they've run out of surface-to-air missiles to take them out, and they're running low on ammunition for anti-aircraft guns, and now you send the real drones over and the real cruise missiles and such, and now they don't have the ammunition to take all of those down. They may take down a few, but a lot are going to get through because they haven't had time to resupply. The crews are exhausted. They've been fighting, decoy drones for 24 hours, and they haven't rested, and now they're being hit with the real stuff. It's kind of like that. All right. Just a quick one from Spirit. Anything we should know about this one that you want to share with us? A little four-quarter, and we'll call it good here. Four of Wands. The wedding card. It's opening day, getting ready. Temperance, detoxification. Eight of Swords, feeling trapped. Seven of Wands, protesting. And the demon card. Yeah, he's underneath is the corruption. It's trying to, again, I think it's back to the comment I just kind of made offhand. It's trying to get people to agree in advance to say goodbye to their amendment rights. Like students, you can't protest in advance. I'm going to make the universities promise that you won't be able to do what you should be able to do by tying their hands in funding. But here's the thing. You're still allowed to protest. He just said illegal protest. So you have to, like anything, you have to game the system so that the protest is legal. Therefore, it can't be declared illegal. Therefore, you don't get expelled or deported, as the case may be. It's a game. Play the game. And I assure you the students are way smarter than Trump, and they will always find loopholes to get around things. That's what humans do. The minute you put up a rule, literally the first thing people try to do isn't comply to the rule. It's try to figure out, how can I do what I was doing before with this new rule in place? How can I what loopholes can I find? How can I game the system? Students are really good at gaming the system. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I do appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.